Hello, welcome to My Life in Spain. My name's Mark, and today we're going to take a look at two Spanish beers, both made by Mahou. One of them is extremely popular, and the other one's a bit of a newcomer. Okay, Mahou Cinco Estrellas even didn't come along until '69, despite Mahou being founded in Madrid in 1890. This is a hugely popular beer here, and when I had a bar, it was the one that most Spaniards would order when they came in. This IPA is an Indian Pale Ale, which we'll talk about later on. Let's first get stuck into the Mahou and check out the alcohol content. Okay, 5.5% ABV. So, nice golden color, about a 1.5 finger head, plenty of effervescence, flowery, a bit like a Stella. Okay, cheers. Yeah, no, very nice. It's no wonder it's popular. I could drink this all the time. Delicious. Okay, now on to the Mahou Cinco Estrellas IPA. A little bit about IPAs. They came into fashion in the late 17th century when the British East India Company wanted British beer for its workers in India. At the time, the popular beer was stout or porter, and it didn't make the 7,000-mile journey around the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa and get there in a good condition, mainly because it had to cross the equator twice, and the beer wasn't good in hot climates. So somehow a brewer in London called George Hodgson discovered that if you added more hops to the beer, it would help it survive the journey. Don't forget, there was no Suez Canal then, so you had to go all the way around Africa. And the journey took months. So George Hodgson got a contract with the British East India Company, gave them very favourable terms. I think 18 months they had time to pay. And IPA beer took off, and that's why it's called India Pale Ale. Even though, in relative terms, they didn't sell that many to India. They sold much more in the UK itself. Anyway, Hodgson went bankrupt when in 1806, during the Napoleonic Wars, when Napoleon blockaded Britain, restricting breweries in Burton-on-Trent from shipping their beer to Europe. So looking for a new market, Burton approached the East India Company and signed, well, it wasn't Burton, I think it wasn't Bass, it was another brewery from Burton, Allsop, I think maybe, and they signed a deal. And this pretty much put Hodgson out of business. Now, full disclosure, I've never had this beer yet, but I do have some preconceived notions of what it's going to be like. Okay, unlike the Cinco Estrellas, this is 4.5 ABV, so it's much less alcohol. I expect it to be more hoppier, slightly cloudy, and maybe a larger head than the previous one. So let's give it a go. Whoa, right away. Well, I was right in my assumptions. It's definitely cloudy. and has a 3-finger head, so double the Cinco Estrellas. And like I said, this is relatively new. I think IPAs have become hugely popular in recent years, and I think Mahou just wanted to jump on the bandwagon and take advantage of the trend. Oh wow, citrusy. That's surprising. Very more. It's like lemons and oranges and apricots. Anyway, I'm expecting a very hoppy beer with a bitter aftertaste. So let's find out. Wow, very nice. Very nice. I could drink this beer again. I also like the unfiltered Mahou Cinco Estrellas better too. It's bitter aftertaste. I've said that previous videos I've done. I like bitterness, a bitter aftertaste. If you see this one when you're in Spain, give it a try. This would be excellent on a hot day if you're sitting outside on a terrace somewhere. Really lovely. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.